hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young. Hello there and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Daphne. Thank you so much for joining me today. I decided that I wanted to look back at two projects that I really enjoyed that dealt with adding privacy into my landscape. So I hope that you guys enjoy. So today's video has been a year and a half in the making. So I just wanted to share this little unused side patio and how overgrown it was with these weeds and volunteer, a tree, and it was just a mess, quite frankly. And I have been putting it off for a long time. We have been in our home 14 years and I have never used this side patio over here because it was just unusable space for us. So over the past year and a half, I have been trying to come up with an approach and what we're going to do with getting rid of this vegetation. Now this was early 2023, last year spring, and as you can see, the bush, tree, whatever you want to call it over here, has already stretched out and it was out of control. So I was a little intimidated. So we just went in and did some light pruning and then we just left it at that for that year. So this is early spring 2024. Now we knew that if we let it leaf out the way that it did last year, that we wouldn't be able to do anything with it. So we got out early one Saturday morning and we just went to town, just trying to trim it back as hard as possible before it leafed out. So this is just midway through. You could see all of the limbs that we were able to cut off. So we just chopped this up really short and we set it out on the curb for organic pickup, which was going to be the week following. Now this was several months later. As you can see, they leafed out and they are absolutely huge and they're basically the height of our house, and we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So we got up early again and my husband just went at it with this hand saw, and we were able to cut everything down tremendously. And then we took some time to be able to see what we were going to do and what the next step was going to be. What I forgot to mention earlier is all this time we always thought that those weeds were on our neighbor's property because we can't access that little patch of planting bed, but it actually is our property. So that's why we are taking the steps to be able to remove it now. So I decided today is the day. This is yesterday, the day before I'm releasing the video. So August 17th, 2024. We're getting started early in the morning. And this is how the patio is looking today. Now, it is much cleaner than it has been in past times that I've shown you guys. We've had so much work done on our home where we got the chimney repointed. We got some bricks replaced. We put on a new roof. We did insulation. We put in a new heating system. I mean, we've done so much over the past 6 months that it's hard to believe the amount of projects that we were able to get done, but everything needed to be done. We live in a 1936 colonial and it just needed a lot of maintenance work. So this is how it's looking, and we're going to get started today. But I did want to mention I do have an indoor channel. It's called Daphne's Indoor Living. It's going to be linked in the description. So if you are into indoor decor, this is how my living room looks. This was a recent video that I shared, as well as a makeover in my entryway. So it's going to be linked in the description. So I hope that after you finish watching this video, you'll take a look at my indoor channel and check out those videos as well. Thank you so much for your support. So mostly everything that's out here on the patio is going to be relocated, donated, or just trashed. So I'm taking the time to just move everything towards the right hand side. I'm up really early. My husband hasn't gotten up and come out to be able to help me at this point. So I'm just moving everything so I can do one side of the patio. So I couldn't believe this ivy was growing under the siding and had peeked out on the other side. So I'm just making sure that I remove that. We're going to be sweeping the patio to just get all of the debris that's left on the actual surface. And then we're going to go in and power wash everything and absolutely make it sparkling. I couldn't believe how clean I was able to get it with the Greenworks surface attachment. But every time that I use that thing, I am floored at how it just melts the grime away. So we're going to do that right after I finish getting up all of this debris. Now in this corner over here, I hadn't realized, but there was so much debris trapped underneath the railing. So I went and I got a mask so that, I just protected myself. So as I'm just sweeping up everything, I have my mask on. And then also we're going to pull out a lot of debris from underneath that railing. And then we're going to sweep it up, get rid of it. And then we're going to start with the power washing. So I want to just thank you guys so much for all of the support that you've been showing me, all of the suggestions in my videos on the projects that I recently was able to complete. I am so happy each time that I'm able to interact with you guys in the comment section. So please do, if you like my vibe, if you're enjoying the videos, leave me a plant emoji down below. Let me know where you're watching from, what your name is, and what you are going to be doing for the fall. Like if you have any projects that you're going to be working on, share it down below because it gives me inspiration. And then also all of the other viewers like yourself also love to see what everyone is up to. So make sure that you give me a comment down below. And thanks so much for joining me today. I absolutely love this view because it's showing the work that we got done on our fireplace. Now, as I said, I live in a 1936 colonial, and the fireplace that we have is on the side of our home. Well, over the past year, we had a lot of water penetration, and we were trying to figure out what was the cause of it. So we had a couple of chimney companies come in, and ultimately we had to have it waterproofed. And you can see how the bricks are glistening there. So it definitely is repelling all of the water, and it is helping us out to not have water penetration on the inside. And we also had it repointed, and we had a couple of bricks replaced. So I was just happy to see that view, and it just reminded me of how far we have come. So I just wanted to show a close-up of how much grime was being able to be removed. Now this on the left is before and on the right is after, so you can see quite the difference. So the surface attachment is amazing, but in these tight spaces I have to use the wand itself. So I'm just going in and I'm getting underneath the railing, and then I'm also going on the outside to be able to clean that as well. So since I have the pressure washer out, I'm just taking the opportunity to just clean off the siding, because we have been doing so much work and there's so much grime on the siding. And I do think that I perhaps will venture and do a refresh and try to paint at least the lower portion of the siding in the fall. I'm gonna have to check out and see, like, try to color match it, because I'm not going to be doing the whole house. That would be way too much for me, but the lower portions I'm definitely going to try to freshen up. So I am still thinking about how we're going to screen this patio off with removing the mangy bushes that are tamed right now, but we do want to remove them and get something a little better for screening along the back portion of the patio. But I haven't figured that out yet, but I am still in the planning process on that. So I have been using this same stain, so I'm giving you guys a close-up look. The color that we're going to be using is slate, and you guys know I love slate, and I know that a lot of you have used the same stain and freshened up your spaces as well. So make sure that you take a screenshot of the actual stain itself so that you can, go to Home Depot and check it out, see if it works for you.
Don't leave me here high and dry.
So I did 2 full coats to get full coverage. The stain is solid and it looks amazing once it's down. So I'm really happy that I was able to just take the time to be able to stain this area, and it looks amazing. You guys will really enjoy the final reveal. So what I wanted to do was just look back at, how we started on this day, and then we're going to go into some light decorating. So these rockers were in the backyard. They're from a company called Cicerolo. They're going to be linked in my Amazon storefront in case you want to, shop anything that you see here today. So we brought them from the backyard. This was where they were supposed to be originally, but we hadn't, got around to doing this makeover. So today's the day that they are going to its final place, and I absolutely love it. So let me know how you guys enjoyed this makeover down in the comment section. We're going to be going into the final shot so that you can see how the makeover turned out. Okay. Well, I gave you a sneak peek last week of what we were going to be doing this week. And I have to say, we are doing a privacy screen for the side patio. We remade over the side patio a couple of weeks ago, where we changed our unused side patio that we have never used for the past 14 years into a beautiful secret patio. And when doing so, I talked about the need to be able to have some privacy, and I wasn't sure what we were going to do. So over the last couple of weeks, I decided that I was going to do a privacy screen, and today is the day that we're going to get started on it. So I just got back from Lowe's. I picked up some 1¼ inch by I think it's 6 inches by 8 feet. And these are pressure treated boards, and we're just going to put them up on the table. And yes, I listened to you guys. I made sure that I took the time to set up a workspace so that I'm not down on the ground. and that I'm comfortable while I'm doing like all of the staining. So I wanted to give you a close-up look of the stain that we have been using. It's from Behr. It's a waterproofing wood stain, and it's in the color slate, and this is a solid stain and I absolutely love it. If you want to see a bunch of different applications that we've been using this stain and then also the semi-transparent stain, I will have that video linked in the description. It was my last video where I just did a recap and I gave you an update of where we are with all of the projects that we've been doing since spring and summer of this year. So we are going in and we're just gonna stain these boards before we attach them. And I am doing 2 coats on each side. So right now I'm just doing the top coat and I'm making sure I get the sides of all of them. And then I'm just gonna let it dry, for about an hour in between. And as I'm doing like the boards, I'm interchanging them. And then we're gonna go and to the side so that we can remove the vegetation that's still there. We had a humongous weed that has been growing as long as we have been here, which has been 14 years. And we're going to take care of the last little bit of that before we start making the privacy screen. So I hope that you guys are excited to be able to get this project underway. So we're going to head on over to the side patio. This is the area that we're going to be working on. And I got this long pole saw, and it's a little awkward in this space because as you can see, our patio and the pathway that I'm on is actually my neighbor's pathway, which is the reason why I did not know that this little 2-foot section with the weeds is actually our property. So for 14 years, I have been looking sideways at my neighbor thinking that they were not cutting their weeds and it actually was ours. So when I found out that it was actually ours, I knew that I had to take care of it, take back the space, and be able to make the patio be able to be usable for us. So I went and I chopped it all the way down to the ground. It's about half a foot left. So we need to be able to pull up that stump, but today's not the day. So what I did was I went on Amazon and I didn't want to have to put these posts, which are a 4x4-inch post, into concrete. So I went and I purchased these anchors. I'm going to have them linked inside of my Amazon storefront. They are amazing. So all you had to do was take a scrap piece of lumber and just bang it into the ground. And there's no need to have any type of concrete. And they went in very easy. The only problem that we had was just in one spot because there's a lot of like tree roots over there. But if you don't have, roots to contend with, they go in very easy. And even with all of the roots, it took us like a couple of minutes to be able to get them in. So this is with them all drove into the ground, and they go into the ground about 30 inches. So you won't have any problems with, upheaval once it frosts. So then we attach the 4x4 post, and we're using 8 feet long post. And now I'm back on the patio, and we're just going in and we're pre-drilling all of the stain boards that we already did. We're also prepping and just putting the screws in slightly so that once we put it up to the post, it's much easier to be able to drill them in. So I'm working with my drill and also my driver. So this one is set up for me to do all of my drills. I'm using my square. So I'm using that as a gauge so that I put everything all lined up so that it's very easy for once we grab the boards and we put them to be able to attach them. Now I have to say my husband and my son have been helping me tremendously in this project, but they don't necessarily like to be filmed. So you'll see them here and there. I'm trying to show the footage where it's just me working, but definitely know that it's all three of us out here working on this project. They really helped me out a lot because you need several hands to be able to get this attached. As you can see, Alex is balancing the boards. My husband's at the other end, and then I'm drilling into the 4x4. One of us is holding the level so that everything is totally level because we wanted to make sure that this project looked professional. This is so funny. It was so windy this day, and for some reason I'm standing there trying to hold down the bag. Meanwhile, all I needed to do was just move around and, fix it once I had the boards up there. But I left it in because I just thought it was so funny. Like while you're doing things, you don't realize how silly you look or, how the silly things that you do while you work. So I just was laughing when I was sitting here editing. So I just wanted to leave that in so that you guys can see what I do when I'm doing my DIYs. So I had to go back to Lowe's again today because the lumber that was there and still there was not in the best quality. So I was just trying to pick through the best of the worst and be able to get enough boards to be able to finish this project. So on this day, we still did not get enough boards, but we got enough to be able to move forward with it. So this is how we're looking before we are going to be attaching the boards that I just stained. I'm letting them dry. I just wanted to give you a close-up so you can see what we did yesterday with all the boards that we were able to stain and attach. So what I decided that I was going to do was come and just do the staining on the post and also do the back side of these boards. Now in the staining that I was doing today, I'm making sure that I do front and back of the board so that I don't have to come back and stain it after it's already attached to the post. So I learned my lesson yesterday to make sure that I take enough time to be able to do the prep work, not only the front, but just to make sure that I do the front and the back. So this is how we're looking. We just attached the bottom 3 boards that was 2 coats stained. Now on the top boards, I had only did 1 coat of stain. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the 2nd coat while they're hanging here. But you can really see the difference between the top boards and the last 3. I absolutely love the way that the stain is coming out. So I'm showing you the back side of it, and it looks amazing. We are going to be adding in about 4 more rows, but I just wanted to take this time to be able to just clean up the lower portion of this bed. So eventually I'm gonna cut that stump all the way down to grade level. I just didn't get a chance to do it today because we were contending with all of the rain. So one of the other reasons why I'm taking it slow is because every time I got started, it would start raining. As I'm putting down this 1 bag of mulch, it really started raining. So I was only able to get this down. Then I went inside and I waited, for the weather to pass and for it to stop raining. But whenever it cleared up, I was right back out here doing a little bit, and then I would go back inside. And I've been transitioning over to this cedar mulch, which is really healthy, and I absolutely love the color of it. And slowly but surely, I'm going to underplant this privacy screen. But in this video, I'm not going to get a chance to be able to do the underplanting, but I was able to complete the entire privacy screen, and I love the seclusion that it makes here on the patio. So I'm just going in and I'm blowing away like all of the sawdust and all of the debris that, we caused here on the patio while we were working on the privacy screen. I'm also going to clean it, just wet it down and also sweep it off. And then we're going to clean off the actual rockers that we had attached here. And we're going to put all of the furniture back in its spot. And then we're just going to do a little light decorating, and we're going to enjoy the space. So at this point, I thought the project was finished. I was so excited. But then over the course of the next week, I had conversations with my neighbor, and I found out that his side of the screen needed to have finished boards. Now, I had thought that just by staining the reverse side and making it finished, that would be sufficient. So as soon as I heard that, I talked to my husband and we went out and we just purchased additional boards. We spaced it out a little further on the reverse side, and we finished off that side so that, they would be able to see a finished side and we would be able to enjoy it on our side. And while I was talking to my neighbor, he really wanted to just have the unfinished wood, so I didn't have to stain that side. I just spaced it out. I really like the way that it finished off because it has like the raw wood, and then you see the black on the inside, and I think that it really complements it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. So do you guys remember how this space looked before we did the makeover? I'm going to pop an image up on the screen so that you can take a look back at where we started from. And I absolutely love the way that this space has turned out. And I am so happy that I decided to do a full privacy screen wall and just be able to block out the view of my neighbors and their door, which is right on the other side of this. It just makes it look so cozy. So let me know how you like the privacy screen, if you thought that I would go in this direction or if you thought that I would keep up the tree that was there. Well, it actually was a weed, but the weed turned into like a mini tree and it was just out of control. So this is another look back at how, the privacy screen looks up against these rockers before we start decorating. So I hope that you guys enjoy. So we're just gonna wipe down the chairs and we're gonna do a little light decorating and then we're gonna go into the final reveal. We are going to be tackling the first privacy screen that we spoke about a couple of months ago now. We are looking to create a privacy screen that will just soften up this area. If you're new here, you're not aware, but if you've been following for, this season, over the winter, our heating system went out. So we had to switch over to a new heating system and we decided to do a heat pump system. So this is heating and also cooling, but with this system, they are condensers outside. So we have one on this side of the home and then one in the back closer to the patio. And I had asked for you guys' suggestion on what type of privacy screens I would create in this area. And you guys were amazing. You gave me so many suggestions. So this morning I got up and I said, let's tackle at least one of the privacy screens. So I went to Lowe's, I picked up 2 7-foot cattle panel posts, and then I also picked up this 4x2. It's a hard like plastic decorative screen. It comes with the Freedom set. Well, it doesn't come with it, but it accompanies the Freedom set. So I decided to take this panel, some wood that I already have, and the cattle panel post, and I'm going to create this privacy screen. Now I have no plans. I am just, laying it out and thinking it out as I go. And it turned out really nice. So I want you guys to just sit back and enjoy the privacy screen creation. I'll be talking you through the process as I go. But I wanted to mention, I do have an indoor channel called Daphne's Indoor Living, where I share my home and amazing products. Now, I have taken the last 2 months off, but I am going to be releasing a video today. Actually, when you watch this video, I will have already released my indoor video, which is on Sundays as well, but it's going to be at 3 o'clock. So after you finish watching this, check the description box. It's going to be linked there. If you're not already following me, I really would appreciate it if you would stop on by, give me a follow. The video is amazing. It's going to be a makeover of my living room after the most recent renovation that we had, which was putting insulation into all of our walls. So back to this project. So I am using all the tools in this video, mostly Ryobi, and then I also am using my DeWalt's drill. So I'm cutting, it is a 1/2 inch by 1 inch, and I got 8-foot long boards. And I'm just using that to make a frame. And I basically just measured the distance between the two posts that I'm going to be using to flank the sides, and I'm just cutting it out with a circular saw. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. This is more of like a laid back, DIY video where you can just get ideas. You guys can give me suggestions as well. As you can see, I'm still, trying to get my feet wet with all of the power tools. But, I have to say this project went very well. But, as you can see, I'm not the best with drilling. I do have to make sure that I have more of a steady hand, but the more that I do it, I think I'm getting better. I just want to say a special thanks to everyone that left a comment about the removal of the juniper trees in my front landscape. I really do appreciate you guys' feedback, and I definitely agree that we're going to be removing those trees. Now I am thinking, where am I going to put them, or can I give them to someone? Because they are beautiful. They're just not meant to be in that space. And I'm still thinking about it, but definitely in the fall we're going to be moving them out. So thanks, guys. So what I did was I used some black exterior paint. It's from Benjamin Moore, and I am just going to put on 2 coats. As I was putting it together, I really wish I had used the slate stain, but I wasn't even thinking. I was just thinking that the panels were black. Let me get the black paint, and that's what I did. But in hindsight, I wish I had used the slate stain that I've been using in a bunch of projects. throughout the landscape. And at the end of the video, I'm going to showcase a couple of those projects. So if you are new here, you probably haven't seen them. We have been having so much fun and refreshing a lot of our pieces with bare wood stain and color slate. So make sure that you check that out at the end of the video. Now it's time to figure out how we're going to get these cattle panel posts into the ground. So these posts are meant for like that wire cattle panel that, you know, you see people using in their landscape. So you basically just pound this into the ground. It goes in about 2 feet or so. So I used the mallet and I pounded in one side, which was really easy. So now I'm taking the actual panel so I know the dimension of where I should put the other post. And the other side, I'm going to tell you, was a lot harder to be able to pound in because it's going into like the hard earth there where the grass is. The other side was inside of the bed, so I'd already loosened that up from, you know, planting over time. Now I do want to mention I have a ton of refreshing that I have to do to my landscape. When we recently had the insulation put into the walls, a lot of my plants were trampled. As you can see, this grass right here, straight down the middle, was trampled, and also towards the back of it. So I wound up cutting out the portion that was totally smashed down in the middle. And this is a perennial, so it's going to grow back, you know, great next year. But for this season, I have to just make the best out of it. So right as I'm measuring to figure out like how I was going to attach it, the sky opened up, the clouds rolled in, and it rained, downpoured for about 2 hours. So I waited for the rain to stop almost all. It was drizzling at this point when I came out because I really did want to finish it on this day. So in the meantime, I had went to Lowe's to get some bolts so that I can attach the wooden frame that I have to the cattle panels. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using a drill bit that's about the size of the bolt so I can just slip it through. And then on the reverse side, I can tighten the bolts. I found that would be the easiest way to be able to attach the wood frame to the cattle panel because the cattle panel is hollow on the reverse side. So I had to make sure that I got some bolts to be able to secure it. Now I have to say this project was so easy to be able to do. I did it in under an hour and I really like the way that it turned out. Unfortunately, because it was raining and it rained right after I finished, I wasn't able to get a lot of finishing shots and also finish the area off the way that I intended to, but this will be a work in progress. I definitely will be adding to this space as we go, but I did want to share it with you guys. So I want to thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you got some inspiration. We definitely will be coming back into this area. We're also going to be doing a double panel on the patio side. So we'll be able to, tweak the way that we put this one together, add on to it. We might change the shape of it. I'm not sure, but I really did enjoy this process, this learning experience, because I've never done anything like this before. So I hope that you guys were, able to get some inspiration if you're going to do something similar to this. Again, thank you so much for watching today's video. Please do stop by to Daphne's Indoor Living. It's going to be linked in the description. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to be showcasing those videos for you. So until the next time, have a blessed day. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you back here next Sunday.